Today's sponsor is Audible.com. Audible.com has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice. It is free and it is waiting for you, like my book, Life of the Party, which the audiobook is actually 10 times better than the real book. At www.audiblepodcast.com/Bertcast. Also, Trip Flip, Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on Travel Channel. That is it for ads, everybody. Today's guest, one of my favorite human beings in the world. Literally, I laughed today harder than I've laughed in quite a long time. And we have one of the most seamless conversations I have ever had with this gentleman. He is a podcast machine with literally 3 of the top 10 podcasts out there. Getting Doug with High, Doug Loves Movies, The Benson Interruption. I don't even know if that's a podcast anymore. I just know that he has 2 of them. Maybe it's just 2 of them. He's one of my favorite people. I love hanging out with him, and we will be hanging out together in D.C. June 11th, 12th, and 13th, where I'm headlining the D.C. Improv, and he's coming into a show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to you Doug Benson.
This is Bertcast.
We're already started?
Yes!
But why don't you say something like it started or something?
I should have said it started.
Yeah.
I should have said it started.
So listen, about...
That's what podcasts used to be, is just us talking shit about people.
I guess it's still a little bit of that, but maybe not. You know, isn't there a lot of talk lately about how it's important to punch up instead of down? So you kind of have to, you know what I mean, not attack people that are below you in terms of success and whatnot.
I think it's weird when you attack up. It's like when you hear people talk shit about Louis or Kevin Hart, you're like, what the fuck? You know,
that's true, I guess. But there's always going to be, when guys get that level of success, there's always going to be people like me that go, Louis brilliant, and I'm still not sure about Kevin Hart. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I like him, and that Get Hard movie with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
He has one scene in that movie that's the funniest thing I've ever seen Kevin Hart do.
Really?
Yeah, where he's telling Will Ferrell what it's going to be like out in the prison yard.
Yeah.
In prison, and he starts playing all the characters, like all the different guys in the prison yard. Yeah, and he changes his hat around and changes his face and does the different characters, and it's just really, it's really well done. And I think he's already kind of getting into a rut of just being manic and not having a cleverness to it.
Yeah,
you know that scene had the rest of the movie was I didn't love it, but.
Like, yeah, because, it's not to say, I mean, I'm doing exactly what we just talked about not doing is I'm punching up. But, like, there is a character that you get cast as playing in movies, and then they want a lot of that. So it's a lot of the, God damn it, man! Like the Chris Tucker.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see it happen to every great comic. Steve Martin, I dare say half of his movies, he's playing someone who's just frustrated all the time and is upset.
Yeah.
Instead of the funniest fucking guy in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then, it sort of happened a little bit to Chevy Chase. Like, he was really cool for a few movies, and then suddenly Vacation... he turned this corner, and then he just had to play the bumbling asshole for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he was the cool guy, Todd.
He was so cool in Foul Play.
Yeah, and in Caddyshack.
And funny cool.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do. And once you've got it, you should run with it.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy has to play characters that aren't as smart as his as characters he should be playing.
That's so fucking true. What about Zach?
Zach has, been frustrated, but then Birdman came along, and, now he can write his ticket. Far as
I guess,
film acting. He's
an amazing
He's great
actor.
in it.
He's an
great
amazing
in
actor.
Birdman, and there's those long takes, and he he threw in a kind of a Galifianakis move. He mispronounced when he says Martin Scorsese, he mispronounces it.
Yeah.
He's like, Martin Scorsese, or something like that.
Zach is one of the most underrated comic. I don't know the right word, but I feel like he's one of my favorite comics to watch. But he's someone anyone wants to do is go Wolf Pack now when he goes on stage.
Yeah,
So I
no,
feel like
his comedy, his jokes that he writes, and the ones that he ad libs, like it's just the jokes are all they tend to just be perfect. You know, like I used to do joke offs with him where we just take turns saying jokes because he just does so many good short jokes.
Yeah,
you know, like he's kind of a little bit of a throwback to Stephen Wright, who also never had clunky short jokes.
Yeah,
and that's hard to do. It's hard to do a shit ton of short jokes and get big laughs with all of them, you know? And that's where Zach also, he like pauses a long time in between each joke, because if you just rattle them off, some aren't going to get laughs. You know, like I was just watching, when I watched the final top 10 list on Letterman, I was like, some of these famous people are not getting laughs because you can't roar at every line in a top 10 list.
Yeah, you can't.
What? That'd be insanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to watch it if it was that hilarious that every time they say the next one, you laughed, you know? So the pacing of it, Jerry Seinfeld comes out and says his line, and it's kind of like, heh, heh, you know, like, or whoever it was, you know, I forget which ones had the worst lines, but it's not that their lines were bad. It's just that when they're all stacked up like that, they can't all be winners.
Who do you think had the best line in that top 10?
I don't remember. Probably Julia Louis-Dreyfus, because she kills it everywhere.
Really?
She doesn't show up and not kill it lately.
Really?
Yeah, on her TV shows, movies, and like she's amazing on Veep. Like there's hardly ever a funnier female performance in the history of anything than her on Veep.
Really?
Yeah. And she's already got, 10 years of Seinfeld under her belt where she was also amazing. And then she on award shows, she always does something cool.
Yeah,
or
right.
funny, and she ropes in the other people, like she's roped in Sarah Silverman and Amy Poehler and Tina Fey into like, and they rope as well. It's like it's a two-way rope, but with all four of those women, they're all four women that like when they show up to something like that, they'll have a mustache on when it cuts to them, or they'll make a mad face when they lose instead of trying to be gracious.
Yeah.
And in the case of Julia Louis-Dreyfus on that last, I guess it must have been, was it the Emmys? Bryan Cranston, she talked about him in her acceptance speech and how he wasn't that great of a kisser when she kissed him on Seinfeld. And then later in the show, when he won, he went over and just planted one on her. Yeah. And it was planned. But it was so perfectly set up because she burned him, and then he comes over and just makes out with her, just really lays one on her. And I think the gag was after he stopped kissing her, she still like kind of shrugged, like, no, still no good, or whatever. But, I love her. Anyway, I didn't come here to talk about
but you have
Julia Louis-Dreyfus the whole time.
I know, but I like your insight on that because I never have watched Veep. But I've just watched it because I was like, I feel like there's this this almost curse of the next project after Seinfeld, and everyone does them, and you just you're like, yeah, but you're still George, or you're still whatchamacallit.
Yeah, well, she had a rebound show. She was on The New Adventures of Old Christine,
some of that,
which was okay, but it was like I think the move to single camera is really good for her because she's so brilliant and so subtle that you don't need a studio audience sitting there laughing at every little thing. Like she'll have she can just turn on a dime and do the funniest things. And the thing about Veep is it might not be for some people because everyone is so ugly to each other on it. Like everyone's really mean, which I think is probably what politics is really like. What we're missing out on, is that the president and the vice president are probably sitting around saying those fuckers over at where, you know what I mean? They're swearing. Yeah. And it's really funny. Patton was on a few episodes. I don't know if if he's going to continue, but Patton Oswalt was
Patton Oswalt.
Why is your device going off? Look and see what it is. Let's find out what it is.
Probably
before we talk about how great Patton
Joey
is.
Diaz is on Periscope. Me with the neighborhood cats.
He's Periscoping right now?
He's Periscoping right now. See if I can.
Come here, Smokey.
Really
Come here, guys. Come here, baby.
Show the camera.
Come here, baby.
Comedians are just going to...
Favor, go out and feed them till they put a pork chop out there. Something. Give them some fucking...
They're just going to Periscope everything they do.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Joey Diaz.
That is unprecedented access to somebody like Joey Diaz.
Well, you know what he does.
That people can just watch him do things that he does and talk to them.
My favorite thing he does is 6 a.m. He always smokes a joint.
On Periscope.
On Periscope, 6 a.m.
God
every morning.
bless him.
And he just sits on his porch, smokes a joint, and then talks about something usually that is like Joey has two types of stories. He has stories that are fucking like so big, you're like, you got to be talking about that on stage. And then he's got the ones that he doesn't know that like you got to hear him tell and listen. And he doesn't know there's a joke in it. Like he told me a story about getting attacked by a dog when he was a kid. And he was like, Bert, you have no idea how many times I got attacked by dogs when I got to this country. I said, what? And he goes, I don't know. The dogs in this country.
I think I heard him say that too.
He goes, I got attacked by 6 dogs my first month. I said, really? He goes, yeah, the last one walked past me and then came back to bite me.
Walked past me and came back.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
He makes me laugh so fucking hard.
He's good stuff. He's a good man. He's had a lot of life.
Yeah.
He's lived.
Yeah, he really genuinely has.
He's like a great example of like, that there always a chance for a second act,
Jay London was my example of that.
Really? What's he doing now, though?
I don't know. But
yeah, see, Joey's is really working out.
Joey's genuinely
He's periscoping playing with cats.
There's a number.
Jay London isn't doing that. He doesn't have that technology or friendly animals. Oh, I should smoke. I can smoke on camera because that's my thing.
I don't smoke, but if you brought your marijuana, you can smoke it.
There's a lighter over there.
Too overkill? Yeah, there's a lighter right there.
So we can talk about this after if you want, but I was disappointed when you've got you're going out on a bunch more roller coasters and rides and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got a list of dates saying, Doug, can you go do this with me on any of these dates?
Yeah.
And I'm already all booked up. There was nothing I could make happen.
Really?
They said you're going to get some more dates soon, though. Or,
yeah, we're doing 6 and then another 6.
Yeah, so the second 6, when does it start? I want to try to leave a hole open.
I don't know. I'll tell you what we should do, though.
Try to find out.
I want to go to the new ride in Carowinds.
I just did it. I was on the very first time the public got to ride it. I was on the very first ride.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was in town, and I was in Charlotte, and I tweeted about being in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And somebody from Carowinds reached out and said, hey, while you're here, do you want to come on the new roller coaster? I'm like, yeah, it opens Friday. And first they wanted me to come to press day, but I couldn't go to that.
Yeah.
So then they're like, but you can come Friday, and a guy just met me and walked me in and took me to the ride. And then the interesting thing about it was the day the ride debuted, they delayed the first ride for like 2 hours because the temperature has to get to a certain. It can't be a certain amount of cold. It was a cold day
for the thing that put the air thing.
I guess so, or also just public safety, like face burn or whatever.
No,
like have you been on a lot of roller coasters on a really cold day?
I've been.
They tend not to operate, right?
Yeah. No. I've been on a lot of roller coasters on cold days. I've mostly done the show in the summer, but I have been on cold days, and I know that one time it it was air compression takeoff, and the air wasn't. It was too cold and it wasn't working.
Interesting.
I think that's what it is.
No, this was something about how they just can't run it because it's like you're moving so fast. It's probably physically dangerous or something. Like they literally waited for the temperature to become 59 or 60 or so. There was some number they were waiting for it to hit, and we literally stood. I went on some other rides while I was waiting, but
so wait, other rides can work, but this one can't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This particular ride, they can't run it when it's too cold for some reason.
So wait, what's the ride?
And it was unseasonably cold. The place is only open in the summer.
Yeah.
The day they opened should have been a nice, beautiful day, but it just, it was, what must it have been? It must have been in May.
So what's the ride? Is the ride, how long? Like 2 minutes?
What's it called again? Do you know?
I don't know the name.
Because the number in the title... It's like Fury 240 or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is, that's how long the ride takes and how long the first drop is, how high the first drop is.
Oh.
Is in the name of the ride. It must be Fury 240 or something like that. It's not Fury 420. I know that. It would be all over that. It's Fury 240, I think. And they, and they didn't call it just Fury. They added the number. According to the kid that was walking me around, I don't know how much he knows, but his theory was that that Brad Pitt movie Fury about the tank.
Okay.
Sort of, it was bad timing that kind of ruined the word Fury.
Oh yeah. Because everyone thinks
for a minute or two.
Yeah, that was a great fucking movie though.
Yeah, but Carowinds is one of those parks where a lot of the rides have they have kind of funky names because it used to be owned by Paramount, and all the rides used to be like Top Gun, and they used to be named after movies and stuff.
One of my favorite rides.
They had to genericize them.
One of my favorite rides in the country is at Carowinds.
What's that called?
The Intimidator.
Which one is that?
It's the one it's the NASCAR themed one where you it's the best. It's one of the two best rides in the country, in my opinion. Same designer for both of them. He did what was the name of? He did Diamondback at Kings Island, Diamondback at Kings Island, and he did the Intimidator at Carowinds. I think it's the Intimidator, and it's based on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, and it's got barbershop top seats, just a lap band, and your feet dangle. It's the best free fall. Both of those are the best two rides I've ever ridden.
Because Diamondback, a thing comes down and holds your lap in.
That's it.
That's it.
And that's what makes that ride fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But they also, the same thing happened with is on the Intimidator. The Intimidator, I think it's the Intimidator, but it's a NASCAR themed ride. It's after Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Earnhardt, who was the Intimidator.
I wouldn't even dare to correct you either way.
Yeah, but
I don't know enough about Dale.
But yeah, it's it was those are my favorite rides.
This weed is making me tear up.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm allergic to to weed, to grass, and I have like all the typical allergies. So some strains of weed, I'll like take a big hit, and the next thing you know, I'll just be like sniffling, and my eyes will get watery. And but I power through it because
I'm allergic to beer.
I like being high. Yeah.
I want to say Hodgkin's, but that's not what it is. What's it called when you have real allergic to gluten? It's called Sarsac disease.
Again, it could be called Dale Sarsac for all I know.
So the ride's fun though.
It's super fun. Like a really great drop at the beginning, and then just I got to go on a couple times, and then just a lot of a lot of business for like
shoulder harnesses.
The lift is probably a minute of the 240, and then you fly around for a minute and 40 seconds. And
I guess they incorporate that.
They do.
Yeah, they always fucking minute.
That's always part of it. But that's fun too that they have so many now that just shoot out of the station without the clickety clackety clickety clackety.
I was on.
What's the word for that? What do they call it?
It's I don't know. The name's an inertia, a drop coaster.
No. For when they just shoot you out of the station.
Oh, that's called. I fucking know this.
Yeah, you do.
Hydraulic propulsion or something.
No, there's a name for it.
There's a bunch of different kinds. There's kinds that like the magnetic ones, where you just keep going by the magnets, so it shoots you. You know that one?
Mm-hmm.
They got that one out at in fucking Texas at Six Flags.
But like California Screamin at California Adventure here in L.A.
I've never been to California Adventure here in L.A.
Oh shit! Well, you just sit at the station and a light goes bing, like a roadster, like a race, and then when it gets to green, it just shoots out.
I did Top Thrill Dragster, which is the same thing.
But that one. That's much hairier. That the Disney one is still Disney, so as scary as it gets is just a big loop. But that Top Thrill Dragster, that thing's fucked up.
I got
in
stuck
a good
on
way.
The top, right?
No,
you've never seen that video? Oh, on the very first pilot we did for Birth the Conqueror.
How do you get stuck on the top? Were you too fat?
Nope. It was cold, and
they shouldn't have run it.
And we were waiting too long. They were waiting too long, so they'd build up the air, and when we were waiting, it would just slowly start leaking out. And it's cold, so there's not a lot of it. So we take off, and we've got like maybe 8 people on the coaster, and we get up to the top. The first time we get up to the top, and it just doesn't make it over and does a rollback. Which
is not supposed to happen.
At all.
You're standing there watching the ride before you get on it.
Oh, I know. It's definitely not supposed to happen. That's a bad thing.
Like as you're falling, you might be thinking, this thing may not stop when we get back to the station.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
Holy shit.
Yeah, talking to the microphone, by the way. But
I thought you were going to talk a long time, and I was going to take another hit.
I'll take another hit, and I'll tell you.
Tell me the rest of it.
Tell you the rest. So we go back. It rolls back, and they've got to now, like, basically redo the entire ride, bring us back to the thing, and then we do it again, and it goes up to the top, and it fucking hits the top, and it stops right at the fucking top. And I'm like, fuck this. And I start shaking uncontrollably, like going, no, go. And thinking, and I think it'll roll forward, and it rolls back again. It just goes, I rolled us back. So we go back into the station again. I'm like, motherfucker. And they're like, we'll get it this time. I'm like, now.
You didn't get out?
No, we've not gotten out of the ride once. Here's the worst
What
part.
did you get after 2 failed attempts? And on that second one, you were going, no.
I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yeah. Why'd you go a third time?
Because we're doing a fucking TV show.
And so, did all this get into the TV show?
All of it gets into the TV show.
And the roller coaster makers in that particular park weren't embarrassed?
They're not embarrassed because they have a story that's legendary that adds thrill to the ride, and that is the time the coaster got stuck and they couldn't rock it back and forth. And what has to happen is they have to call a guy who has to come out and drive. And
Only one guy knows how to do it.
But wait to hear this. There's only one guy certified to do this. And he comes out and he's got to walk up the 420 feet on this catwalk, on this ladder type thing, all the way to the top. And all he does is push. But he's the only guy certified that can go up and do that.
Because it's a dangerous climb.
It's a dangerous
and he
climb.
knoes the roller coaster, and he knows.
And he repels the coaster every day and checks out all the
strong guy.
I don't know. I didn't meet the guy, but they're trying it.
You know what I mean? To push the whole thing and get it going again?
Literally, they say he just puts his foot on it and kicks it. I'm not even fucking around. And then I think he waits for the next time. But so they're telling me this, and they go, yeah, there's a certain fucking hit that if you get up there, it gets stuck and it won't move back or forth. You need someone to come up and kick it. We'll call the guy. And everyone's like, oh, I pray to God. Like last people were stuck for like 30 minutes up top there. And fucking 400.
Yeah, the guy should live. Have
he
like
should live close.
He should have a cot right there at the.
Yeah. So we do it the third time, and the third time we went up and over, and we did it. But man, that rollback was scary as shit. I literally was like freaking out.
Yeah, because there's so many rides where they make you go backwards on purpose and stuff, where you go back through it backwards.
Yeah.
So you're used to that sensation, and it's enjoyable, but you never want it when it's not part of the ride.
Exactly.
Like the Jurassic Park ride at Universal. I was on it with the Fun Bunch, I think. Scott Ackerman and BJ Porter and probably their ladies at the time, maybe Kulop. But we're sitting there in it on the part where it goes up to the top to then fall and go around. And, and it's kind of for people who might not know what it is, because you've been on it.
I don't know. I'm sure I have. I don't know.
It's amazing that you've been on all these places.
I've never done any.
And you've never done the ones that you live right by.
I know. I've never done the ones I live by.
Okay, so what's the furthest away one you've done?
Oh,
Germany?
No, probably. We haven't done Europe, but probably like Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got roller coasters in Hawaii, or you did some sort of other thrill thing?
Water parks.
A really hairy slide?
Mexico. The ones in Mexico are kind of sketchy.
Right.
Because you're literally just thinking, what's the legal system of how you find out if this is safe or not?
Yeah.
But Mexico, and then I think that's as far as I went. And then I've done them all over the country. But I was out at Magic Mountain for like a whole summer, for like 3 months. I worked there every day with Jason Nash, and
he's got a new show coming on country music television.
CMT.
Yeah.
What is it?
Wait, sorry, not Jason Nash.
You're thinking of Josh
Wolf. Why is Jason Nash and Josh Wolf the same to me?
Very similar acts.
Yeah.
But
shit.
But I've said this a number of times. My favorite part, I had to ride like every coaster every single day. It was a game show on a roller coaster. So the game show happened on the roller coaster. It was called Scream If You Know the Answer. It was really funny, but no one watched it.
Was there any one ride there, and I'm still going to tell my Jurassic Park story, is there any one ride there that you got really sick of, or that you never really enjoyed having to do it repeatedly?
Yes. What's the one, it's the African name, the one that they lean you forward?
Yes. I hate that ride.
I hate that ride.
And I hate the versions of that. I don't like that feeling of being held from underneath on my chest.
I don't like it either.
And having to lay like that for the entire ride. Like there's moments of it where you can kind of forget that you're, like the one at they have one of those at Carowinds.
Yeah.
And that one's a little bit more fun than the one out here. But it's still the I don't like the feeling of it.
I don't like the feeling of it either.
It's like you're on a stretcher upside down or something. It's not. It doesn't really feel like you're flying.
It doesn't feel like you're flying. And when you're waiting in fucking like there's a coaster in front of you, you're waiting in the back, you're just staring at the ground. And I got stuck in that for fucking 45 minutes.
Oh.
I got stuck in that for 45 minutes doing the fucking ride, and I had it literally is like one of the times I can go. I had a definite panic attack. So I was on a ride in.
That's horrible. Forced planking.
Yeah.
Involuntary planking.
I was on a ride in Busch Gardens and in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, okay. I've only been to the one in Tampa.
I'm not Richmond, whatever it is. It's in Virginia. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of the most beautiful parks in the country. I'm not even joking. It is so gorgeous, the one in Virginia.
Yeah, nice.
So gorgeous.
Nice
Dollywood
shrubbery.
and that are my two favorite parks visually.
I like that Eagle ride at Dollywood.
Oh,
the roller coaster.
Dollywood's fucking fantastic. I love.
It's not just fantastic. It's religious.
Yes.
It's patriotic.
Yes.
It's weird. It is weird how religious and patriotic and a pig on a spit, like we're going to cook a pig in front of you. Yeah. Like Disneyland would never, or maybe they would at a luau, but
it is small town Pigeon Forge.
But it's very,
I love that park.
And there's parts of it, like you've gone on that fucking mine train ride thing that's like the cheapest, oldest, shittiest ride in the history of anything that they just still have open and there's no line to go on it.
Yeah.
And it's just so dumb. It's so bad. It's like, because you could just see, I see this at amusement parks all over the country, the knockoffs of Disney rides.
Yeah.
They just do shitty versions of Disney rides and just sort of get away with it. And
a lot of parks, I love when there's a great ride and it's all over the place, and you're like I said, like the Intimidator or Diamondback. When you see it a couple, you go, "Oh, I know that ride. I can't wait to hit that." Or the one in Jersey and Thrill Dragster are very similar rides. But yeah, I hate when you find a ride and you're like, "Oh shit, there's nothing special to this." Like, I'm not gonna shit on the rides, but like there's some that happen at, I think it's Universal, that you're like, "Yeah, I get it." Like, I don't need. I don't really think that the other coaster that's going simultaneously is really going to hit. I understand we'll get close, but the fear of that doesn't lose me. And then there's some actual things that I'm tired of, like certain applications of a coaster, like the Immelman Loop is everywhere. It's like it's a fighter pilot, Max Immelman, came up with this maneuver, and it's you ride it in a coaster. It's when you go like this and kind of dive and turn around upside down and do a loop. And I'm like, enough about the Immelman Loops. I just give me fucking a great free fall, and then I want some badass like just fucking diving through the woods.
I forget which ride has it, but I was on one recently where it's just got every single possible permutation of, the physical things you can, kind of like Batman and Riddler and those they're really, they put them in a smaller space and just have lots of crazy different things that happen in a short space. And this one that I was on had all this great stuff happen. God, I wish I could remember what ride it was. The names are so hard to keep straight.
I know.
Because they never really say anything about the ride. You ask me about a ride at Disneyland, I can tell you exactly what it's called and what happens on it. You know what I mean? Every other goddamn amusement park just names shit so arbitrarily. It's like names for weed.
Yeah.
I should do a bit. Is this a name for weed or a roller coaster? And just name off a bunch of them.
Oh, I bet you could find a ton.
Absolutely. There's got to be.
Bizarro.
Yeah, I mean, there's ones for both. So I'm on Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Finish the story.
With some friends. But I don't know if that makes it better or worse, when these things happen, if your friends are sitting there. Because, you have people to commiserate with, but you also, if you're there by yourself, just kind of get through it without being so upset. I don't know. So it's going up, and then all of a sudden, it just goes gung and goes back a notch.
Yep. And
then it waits a beat, and then it goes gung, like it's like trying to go up and just falling back this one. So it's not like it's not falling all the way back.
Yeah.
But it's giving you this motion like you're about to fall all the way back, and it must have done it 50 or 70 times before they got us out of there.
Are you fucking
just
serious?
Sitting in this thing going. like when is this going to stop?
Yeah.
It's making me crazy. And it feels scary because it's not supposed to drop backwards at all.
Yeah. The first panic attack I had, I was going to say, is in Richmond, Virginia, and we were in that ride that's a lot like it's the one where it's the same ride that's also in Busch Gardens, Tampa, and they take you up in the thing, and then they hold you over the ledge, and they wait, and then then the ride starts. I love that. I love that. I love that.
That's a neat one.
I love that ride, and I'm excited to ride it, and we do it, and we get pulled out into the state, like right outside the station, and they're having a problem with that car, and they got to fix it, and I'm fine sitting in the sun for a minute, and I'm riding next to a kid, and the kid just leans over, and he goes, hey, man, you think you could get out if you needed to? And I was like, what? And he's like, do you think you could get out of this harness if you needed to? And I was like, and all of a sudden I realized I can't fucking move, and I was like, I started having a panic attack, and I'm like, motherfucker. Why'd this kid do this to me? Now I'm losing my shit. And the kid, by the way, is sliding his arm out like this and then sliding his arm out because he can fit.
Right.
I can't move, and I'm just fucking panicking. And I literally I have a mic on, and I'm like, okay, guys, you need to get me the fuck out of here, like right now. So that is nothing compared to getting stuck in the one out at Magic Mountain where I'm facing down. And there's the woman that runs it is a more like a Harley type looking woman, like just like a gruff woman. Her name's Judy, I'm sure. Short hair, like overalls, and she just is like,
wow, you just really
no nonsense woman.
Insulted all Judys.
She comes over and she goes, all right, guys, it's gonna be about 45 minutes, and I'm like, and I go, I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I go, I'm gonna need to get out right now. Can you just undo mine? Because I can't sit like this for 45 minutes. Because now I'm thinking of that kid going, do you think you could get out if you wanted to? And I start freaking out. And I'm like, I go, no. I need to get out like right now. And she's like, listen. She gets down to my level and she looks at me and she goes, the guy that needs to fix this is at home. He's coming out from his house to fix this. You're going to be fine. And I go, Judy, I'm having a panic attack. And she sits on the ground underneath me and holds my hand underneath me in the ride. And for 45 minutes, I just fucking held her hand. And she's like, breathe. And I was like, okay.
I can't believe you still... that you're the guy that's going around doing this kind of stuff on camera when you have all these incidents.
I have indirect, honest.
And now I'm taking back saying that I want to go with you to one of these things.
Jim Norton.
You freaking out next to me would freak me out.
I get.
Or maybe I'd laugh so hard that I'd die laughing.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun season. Then we do the third act, fourth act, or like big events. So we're doing like Greasy Pole out in Gloucester, Massachusetts, and like the hooligan race, and so it should be a fun season. It's a fun show to do during the summer. Hey, do you want to go?
I do, but I brought my book with me with all my dates in it. Because
what are you doing 4th of July?
I want to do something. What? I made plans, man. What do you got on 4th of July? Is it in Denver?
No.
Damn it.
It's in Jersey.
Oh,
I'll tell you what.
That's the thing. That was probably one of the dates they sent me, and I went, I can't because everything you've got so far is like July and then August, I think, or a little into August maybe.
Yeah, July and August.
And I'm already pretty booked up, you know. Well, and also just proximity problems, like what part of the country I'll be in and stuff, you know, because you're all over the place with these things.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or 2 weeks on, 1 week off, and then we're doing like 3 2-week chunks, I think. But I'll find out the next schedule, and I'll get it to you beforehand so you can do something. We'll do a ride you want to do.
Yeah. I love amusement parks, and it's one of my things that I build into my travel a lot. And I even have kind of a MO with it because if I'm working a club on a weekend that has a park, I'll get up super early on Saturday morning and just take all the steps that are needed to be ready to go run to the biggest coaster the second the gates open.
Really?
And some places will have an early bird thing where if you pay more, you get in an hour early.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. I just want to get in there early, get on the best ride right away, ride it until a line starts to build.
Yeah.
Just keep getting back on it. Good exercise, a lot of these places, because you got to fucking walk a mile to get back on.
Dollywood's all uphill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's brutal. So it was crowded when I went to Dollywood, so we didn't get any that much action. But like Dollywood, the whole time I was like, I'm coming back here because it's too crowded today. But yeah. I love this.
The fucking food is so amazing. We hung out with Dolly when we went there.
They have a whole theater inside the park, and the marquee says, I'm pretty sure all the time, a marquee name is like playing in there.
Yep.
3 shows that day that people could just go in and watch, and it's like huge names in country.
I told my wife, I said, when we go back down to Atlanta, I want to take all the girls over to Dollywood. I go, you'll fucking love it. And Leanne's like, Dollywood? I was like, trust me. She's like, what about Six Flags? I was like, fuck it, Dollywood. You can go. There's Six Flags everywhere. There's only one Dollywood. And the shit to do in Pigeon Forge also, they've got the Zorb balls. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Pigeon Forge this year. But
yeah, I think I saw that on the list.
Yeah, Pigeon Forge, and we're doing like, they have the Zorb balls. They have fucking bungee. They have all the thrills. They have the controlled descent. Everything on Pigeon Forge it's a great town. I love it. Whoa, Doug. Have I talked to you about Audible.com? Okay, clearly this is an ad, and I just inserted it in the middle, but I thought I could slide it in and you wouldn't notice. Audible.com is our sponsor. They have more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audiblepodcast.com/Bertcast. You know what I'd get? I'd get The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Get that. You'll fucking love it. All right, back to the show.
Controlled descent is just when they drop you.
Yeah, it's like
everyone. That's something that I enjoy it when I do it. My favorite thing about it is putting a coin on my knee because the first jostle makes it fall off your knee, but then it falls at the same rate you do, so it's just floating as you fall.
Best rides, easily, I think the most thrilling rides in the country, and I don't know if anyone agrees with me on this, are the 3 roller coasters at the top of the Stratosphere.
Just because they're at the top of the Stratosphere?
It just heightens it. You're so high.
That thing where you're in those chairs and the claw goes out and they spin. I did that and felt regret the entire time. The one where you're in the roller coaster, it just sort of goes around. I don't know.
That was not the best.
That's not that great. And then the one where they dangle you out and just put you out there.
If you're in the front seat,
it's pretty intense.
It's like really intense.
Doing those rides scared me off of bungee jumping off of the Stratosphere. And if I'd have just bought the bungee jump thing first, I would have just done it.
Yeah.
But those other things made me so scared about Stratosphere. When you look at it from when you're on the top of it and when you're on the ground, it doesn't look thick enough to have one room in it, let alone be an entire hotel.
Exactly.
It is such a skinny looking building. It's like can the Washington Monument be a hotel inside? I don't think so. I think it's just a staircase. You know?
Yeah.
It's so thin.
Yeah.
So, and when you're on top of it, the top part is like a cock, it's big cock top up there, so you can't. You're just the view is just like it's like you're dangling no matter where you are up there.
Oh, we did them in a thunderstorm.
I also like that the Palms that outdoor bar upstairs, a ghost bar.
Oh yeah, with the glass floor.
Yeah, with the glass floor, and drives my friends crazy. But I stomp on that thing. And they all just go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm stomping on a thing that if it could possibly break, this place would be fucked.
Yes.
My family would own this place.
That's a great visual of you just stopping going, my family's going to own this fucking place.
Next time I go there, I'll make a vine of that.
I'm bringing it down. Oh, yeah. The Stratosphere, we were up there in a thunderstorm and hail started coming in. And, that weather just changes instantly at the Stratosphere. Because it's so high up. When weather comes through,
it's so windy out there in the desert. And
when we did the day we did the sky jump, the winds have to be under 35 miles per hour. Because if not, you start blowing into the buildings. And it was just, and the way it does, they have a wind meter that reads the wind. If it ever hits 35 miles an hour, you got to wait 15 minutes. And if it doesn't do it 15 minutes, they can open the ride. And then we're just watching, and all of a sudden it's like 45, and I'm just going, and we're just waiting. And I'm thinking, guys, fuck that. Like, let's do it tomorrow when the wind's at steady 15, and we know it, because I'm going to jump, and then a wind's going to come through and push me into the building. That was a terrifying. I opened that ride. I was the first person to do it. That was a fucking. I was the first person to do it.
First Timers Club.
Yeah, I did that and Scorpion's
It's neat.
Tail.
It's really neat.
It really is. Being in the first group of people to ride it, it's. I mean, it's every coaster the first time you ride it is.
But it's just funny. It's just a weird kind of pride you get. It's like similar pride, I assume, to people who really give a shit about their their team winning a game.
Yeah.
It's like you've done nothing special. You were just there and experienced it, but you were first. You won.
Yeah.
It's it's great that as human beings we can get excited about shit. And I'll tell you something about amusement parks that always blows me away.
What?
I can't go anywhere now without an occasional picture being taken or someone just yelling at me, super high me or whatever.
Yeah.
And amusement parks are just still they're wholesome America. Like nobody says shit to me.
Really?
Sometimes I have a hat and sunglasses, and that helps.
Yeah.
But generally, nobody says a word to me all day long. Maybe one little stoner kid will come up and say, "Hey, man, are you Doug Benson?" or whatever. But it's the least I get the least bothered there of anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
To
me, probably not to listeners.
No, you're totally right. By the end of the second season of Bert the Conqueror, anyone that worked at a theme park was like they definitely knew who I was because everyone knew that was the roller coaster show. And then like the next year I was doing something for something, and I ended up at Cedar Point. And these are all the kids that they were on this. They definitely watched the show, and no one said anything to me. And same thing happened at Kings Island. No one said anything, and then I get off the ride. I get off Diamondback, and one of the kids goes, "Hey man, we know who you are." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he was like, "If you want to come back, man, any seat you want." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Back left corner." Like that's my favorite fucking seat on that ride. The back of a coaster, in my opinion, on a free fall, on a drop, is better than the front. Hands down, every fucking time.
It's a better feeling.
Yeah.
It's a better feeling, but being in front is, again, I'm in front. That's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, that you're, like that
Get
people,
the best seat in the house.
people, there's that extra line to get in the front cars on a lot of roller coasters that they allow, I hate places where they're really strict about you have to go here. Like if somebody wants to be in a certain part of the coaster, let them hang back for as long as it takes.
Yeah.
And then get to do it.
No, what are your feelings?
Because the back is pretty. That's what if I get to go on a coaster twice, I try to do the front and the back. And sometimes you're in the middle. Sometimes it happens, and you know what? You're still flying around in a roller coaster.
I'm in the back every time I get one. I literally will wait my time in line and be like, no, over there.
But do you so you don't for fun also try the front? You just like the back so much that you're just always in the back?
If I do it twice, I'll do the front and the back. But if I do it once, it's always the back. Except on rides like the one we were talking about, that drop coaster in Busch Gardens. I love the front because when you dangle it like 200, I think it's 210 feet. When you dangle there and you're looking down, you want that visual.
I
want the front in those Vegas rides. You know what the rides are?
I think all danglers, the front row is the best because there's limited view in every other row because you got people in front of you.
Yeah,
but and there's not just heads, like their whole thing is in front of you.
But when on those. It's potential motion coasters, like where they are kinetic motion coasters, where they take you up to the top 310 feet and then you drop. That drop in the back, you feel like you're getting pulled off a boat with an anchor tied to your foot. Like it's like just like, phoom, like you get pulled over, and the free falls. Also, I'd argue 30 feet longer than the guy in the front who goes over the top and then he's leaning, and you got to wait for the back to unhook before you drop. It cuts some of the free fall. The free fall is what I love the most. The best ride.
But if you're in the back of that too, though, you do get that sort of extra whip that the whole thing pulling you over that edge makes happen. You get a stronger sensation.
Yeah.
But you're right that the front is you got to get that. You got to get that view.
The Beast in the wooden roller coaster, the Beast.
Wooden roller coasters, I have a love-hate relationship with because so many of them just beat the fuck out of you,
Dude,
and it's not worth the thrills. It's not as thrilling as they can't go as high. They can't have. I mean, now I guess there's one that has a loop, a wooden coaster with a loop.
Shut the fuck up.
I think so. Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think so.
No, wooden coasters, literally, you get like the fucking Junior Seau traumatic brain injury if you do them too much. I'm not even fucking around. Like I had one of the experts out at I want to say it's Noah's Ark, one of the not Noah's Ark, it's one out in the Dells, and he was like, "Oh, I won't let my kids do this too much." I was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, you're very limited. The best rides, this I've been dying to say to you for like the past 10 minutes, the best rides ever, in my opinion, that blow me away.
You just said Stratosphere already.
Nope. I forgot about this ride.
Oh, God.
The ones in Universal that like the Spider-Man ride, where it's all visual and they blow fire at you.
Those are neat, yeah.
I fucking love
they just
those.
they keep doing similar variations. Like the Transformers is very similar.
Yeah, Transformers.
But the Transformers ride at Universal Studios is a million times more entertaining than any Transformers movie, cartoon, or anything.
Easily.
It's really great. But that's how I feel about, I think, other than maybe like Empire Strikes Back, I think Star Tours is the best Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah, it's really well done. It's really well done. It's
wow.
And it was, Star Tours started out great, and then they, changed it, and redid everything, and it's still great.
Yeah.
Like both, I'm nostalgic for the old ride because it used to be your captain or whatever was a robot voiced by Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, really?
And I was, always a huge Pee Wee Herman fan. So when we went to Disneyland that first time we went on it, and he's like, "Oh no, we're caught in a tractor beam." We were like so delighted that it was Pee Wee Herman being a robot on a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And then they redid it, and now C-3PO is the, they booted that.
Dude, Spider-Man,
other robot.
I did. We did an episode at Universal for Trip Flip, and then they basically they gave us the park for the morning, and they're like, no one's there, you can ride whatever the fuck you want. And so I literally had no expectation for Spider-Man.
It's neat. Like, it's really doesn't he sling his web and grab the car and then pull it? It really feels like you just suddenly got yanked.
Feels like you get yanked.
It's really well done.
Oh, it's really well done. And I all I thought was, how about getting like fucking like Top Thrill Dragster and adding that element of the screen. I mean, you could take that so far that it just seems like that's where the future of roller coasters
have you been on the Wonderful World of Harry Potter ride?
Yes, I have to have, because we did
That's the one where it's like you're in like a doom buggy, like Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, but you go through.
Oh yeah,
they have actual footage of all the actors from the movie.
Yeah,
but it's a combination of actually throwing you around, and then also similar to Transformers.
Yeah,
but it's to me, but then there's a physical thing at the end, like a dragon or something that's actually huge in the room.
Yeah.
And not film. And you play Quidditch for a while.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're flying around. It's that ride to me was the first time, because now probably Transformers, Spider-Man, whatever. But that one really felt to me like this is using all the ride elements in one ride.
Oh,
and it's really, really fun.
The free fall on Spider-Man, when you fall off the building, Peter Parker's got to save you. When Spider-Man's got to save you, that free fall, I know I'm not dropping. I know that, but I fucking lost my stomach.
Works.
I lost my stomach, and I was like, ah! I screamed. And what stinks is we can't cover any of those rides on television properly, because you'd never be able to do it.
Right.
But those are the greatest goddamn rides, man.
No, it would almost give it a cheese factor and make it not look good.
Yeah.
To see people watching a screen and screaming and they're not moving or whatever, like it just blows it.
It stinks because those rides redefined, and they got the one I think at Disney's Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's similar a little bit, but those rides blow me away.
Well, that's another thing. Star Tours has multiple situations, so anytime you go on it, you're going to see something different.
Yeah.
The story goes off. Story goes off in different ways. They go to different Star Wars lands, and it's still always an adventure about getting in this little kind of like tourist speeder that's being operated by C-3PO, and then getting caught up in some sort of bad situation.
Yeah.
and then making it back to the station.
Yeah.
It's man, I love rides.
I do
love
too.
rides
I'm excited
so much.
to go back and this summer, because one of the coolest parts of the show is, like, I did Superman out in Magic Mountain with Warren Sapp, and Warren Sapp got done, and he was it's so un-Warren Sapp, and I say that, I hope if he's listening, and I know he's not, but like, it was very un-Warren Sapp because he was taking pictures with everybody.
Hey, Warren.
He was taking pictures with everybody, and he was like, because he was like a kid again. He goes, he loves rides, and so like normally he's like a stoic kind of don't bother me kind of guy, but he's like taking pictures with the group. He's holding people up, taking pic. It was fucking awesome. And then he goes, he says to me, he's like, man, I just wish I could ride more of these rides. And I go, what do you mean wish? I go, Warren, we have the keys to every fucking ride because the park's closed. And he goes, what do you mean? I go over to the guy. I go, hey guys, Warren would like to ride the rides. And they're like, of course, go, let's go. And this guy just goes with him and opens every ride, turns it on, and lets him ride it. And so we're shooting like pickups, and Warren Sapp is riding every fucking coaster in the park just by himself. Ah! That's the greatest part, is getting the park to yourself.
Oh yeah, anything special, like that's what I was going to say about Cedar Point is one time I went there and I took a friend of mine and I just, took the hit, just bit the bullet and paid. You basically hire. They just have people there that you hire, and you get them for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And the rules are they get to have a 1 hour break to eat.
Yeah.
They get a 1 hour lunch break at some point where they leave you alone for an hour, which is probably a good thing for everybody concerned. And but you can get there when the park opens and stay till stay like you get them for 8 hours for a certain price. It's expensive, and then they take you to the front of any ride you want to go on. The only rule is you can't go multiple times on anything. You can't even just walk off and go right back on. You got to go to a different ride.
Okay.
But she takes you there, and you go right to the front of the line.
They've got fucking 23.
And I can't get over. Now I've been twice where I've been with somebody from the park taking me around.
Yeah.
And one time they volunteered, and the other time I paid for it. But both times, I just couldn't get over how excited I was that any questions that popped into my head about the fucking park, I could just ask somebody that's standing right there. You don't have to go find somebody or ask the person as they're letting you onto the ride. You got a person that's just, and they often, they're like, sometimes answer a lot of questions with, I don't know. Yeah. But, but they also know a lot of stuff about it. And whether they know stuff about it or not, when you talk to amusement park employees, they've all got stories and they've all got, theories and opinions. Yeah. And it's all really interesting because there are so many different kinds of rides and people and reactions to them, So,
Cedar Point, no questions asked. Millennium Force is probably the best ride.
That's really great.
It's probably the best ride in the world. I
got fucking tore up by bugs though when I was at that.
Oh, really?
Park the last time because I didn't think to put on bug spray.
I guess during
because it's on the water there and
at a certain time of the year it gets really natty and buggy.
Yeah. But that ride's amazing.
Skyhawk.
Isn't Millennium Force another one where it's just the lap bar and that's it?
Just lap bar, 310 feet up, and then fucking a drop.
But I looked it up just because I was being such an idiot about Fury 240, because obviously 240 isn't any kind of record. Yeah. It's Fury 325. The drop is 325 feet, and the ride is 3 minutes and 25 seconds long.
Oh, fuck, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was really neat.
Is it a lap belt or is it shoulder harness?
I think it's shoulder because you really fucking fly around and do a lot of stuff. Oh, that was one thing I was going to say earlier that we got sidetracked. I think is that there's one ride where you do everything and then at the end you're going straight and then it curves and you're upside down for a bit and it goes all the way back around and it keeps going straight. So you're just like a pig on a moving spit, just turning over. So you have this sensation of being absolutely, upside down, not like when you're in a loop when you can feel that you're being pushed into your seat. You're upside down like, I will fall the fuck out of this thing.
My pockets are emptying right now.
But it's not a whole ride of it like when you're laying down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a thrill, but it's quick. It just happens. Yeah. And it's at the end of a great ride. Yeah. I can't think of which ride it was. So if you know, call in. The number is 800.
I love Bizarro out in New England. I love the end of Bizarro, those fucking tight loops right before you go into the fucking...
For as many roller coasters I've been on and parks I've been to, there's still so many left for me to do. Like I keep hearing new names of amusement parks, because I've just been going on the model of if there isn't a Six Flags around, what's going to be around? Probably some little broke dick thing. But there's a lot of big independent parks and parks that are kind of owned by one company, but all the parks have different names, so you don't really know.
Yeah, what's the one in Denver's Elisa's Gardens?
Yeah, what's with that?
I've been there.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, it is a weird name.
Is a weird name.
Yeah.
And the last time I was in Denver was May 10 for Mother's Day. And I was excited to be there because I was going to go fuck up some roller coasters over at Elitch, and it was goddamn snowing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, and people in Denver say that for the last few years, winter's gone well into May.
Really?
Snowing in May pretty consistently for the last few years.
Oh, you know what ride we're doing in fucking Denver is up in I think it's up in Glenwood Caverns. It's a fucking one of those rope swings where they pull you up and you lay on your stomach. They pull you up and then you pull a button and you drop.
Yeah.
But you go out over a fucking 1,000-foot canyon.
That's nuts.
I know. I'm fucking really excited for that.
You know how they'll put 2 or 3 people together in that thing, and you're all kind of like in a weird, like you're in a giant sleeping bag together?
Yeah.
I did that once in Vegas with Scott Ackerman and Brian Posehn.
Are you serious?
The 3 of us, yeah.
Is that the one in Old Vegas?
Well, no. MGM Grand used to have it when they had the worst amusement park in the history of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that park in the back there? The rides were so lame.
Yes.
It was so lame. It was trying to be like Universal Studios, but at MGM.
Yeah,
and
the ride, the roller coaster in New York's pretty good.
That's neat. Yeah, that's a fun, because New York's known for its roller coasters.
And the one
Manhattan is a roller coaster town.
The one over the one in at the NASCAR themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
The NASCAR one's pretty good too.
That's a good ride.
One. Yeah, I like
the way it kind of shoots out of the side of the building.
Yeah. And then out and up, and then shoom right back.
I still want to know that expression for when they shoot you out of the
Propulsion?
station.
I don't know.
No,
I can call my research
don't
team.
call anybody.
Yeah, I did the one where they pull you up in the sleeping bag and drop you down rope swing. I had to do that one time, like fucking 21 times in a row. I was for that game show. I was the judge, so I was the host. So I had to go up with the contestants, and I had an earpiece with a timer. And so the contestants had to try to solve like word problems that were on the ground in the cement in the parking lot outside of that ride. So they'd pull us up, and then out in the cement in the parking lot, they'd have these word riddles, and they had to solve it in like 45 seconds. And I was with them, and when the 45 seconds is up, I pulled them, and then we'd swing on the ride. And I had to do it like 21 times in a row, and I fucked my neck up. And at one point, I was like, guys, I'm losing feeling in my face. And Jason Nash comes over, and he goes, "Do not fuck yourself up for a fucking roller coaster TV show." And I was like, "Yeah, good call." So
why would Josh Wolf do that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, what's the one? It's not Skyhawk in Cedar Point. It's the spinning Max Air.
I don't know that.
Max Air is the one. It's like it's like one of these big circle things that on a stick, and it spins and then pendulums out.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That ride scared the living fuck out of me because you can sit by where it comes.
In Zombieland, that ride, they use it to smack some zombies away.
Which one?
In the movie Zombieland, they get the zombies into an amusement park, and that ride is like knocks some zombies away at a crucial moment.
Yeah,
because you can't be standing. They keep it so you can't stand under it while it's going.
Yeah, that ride freaks me out because it almost goes perpendicular, and it's just one of those things where you're like, fucking scary. I hear the roller coasters in Europe are fucking bananas.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing is the best ones are there. But I also, for some reason, I keep flashing on. Does New Jersey have like a great one, like one of the best roller coasters somewhere?
Yeah, Bizarro.
It's called Bizarro.
Yeah, I think Bizarro's
that
in
doesn't
Jersey.
Sound familiar to me for some reason.
Bizarro's it's got fire elements in it.
I'm gonna get you your answer right now, and it's my answer. Electromagnetic propulsion.
That's not it.
That's not it, but that's what I'm talking about.
Where it's just magnets.
The acceleration from the launch is greatest at the beginning and dies off rapidly towards the end of the launch. Yeah, here's they show one of these ones, Wicked.
Wicked, I know Wicked in Utah.
Oh, wow.
Wicked's in Utah. That's a fun fucking ride.
They're allowed to have fun in Utah?
Oh, that fucking ride is
I love
Utah,
shit. By the way. I'll come back soon. Linear induction motors.
Linear induction magnets are the ones that just propel you at like 90 miles an hour right away. Just, and that's Wicked in Utah. I forget the name of the coaster park.
Hydraulic launch.
Hydraulic launch can be one of two things. It can be something that pushes you out or pulls you. Like sometimes they have a cable. Like I want to say
they use hydraulic fluid. And nitrogen.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's top. I don't think it's Top Thrill Dragster, but one of the ones that I rode is a hook on the bottom of the coaster, and they build up the pressure, and then all of a sudden it just reels in the line that's holding the coaster, and that's how you take off.
Pneumatic launch is another one.
Yeah, there's probably a ton.
Yeah, no, I'm like, there's this like article that's just going on and on. Electromagnetic, pneumatic, and hydraulic launch systems are the most popular. Catapult launches involve a large diesel engine. Flywheel launchers utilize a large flywheel that is spun at high speeds and is attached to a cable that propels the train forward. Friction wheel launches.
What's it called when it's...
Oh, the Incredible Hulk at Universal's great.
It's fucking amazing, right?
Yeah. It's a perfect example of a friction wheel launch coaster.
You want to hear something funny? We did the Incredible Hulk, and I'm with a family, and we have the park to ourselves, and I'm with two young girls, Phoebe and Lila. I think their names. I'm almost certain. And so we send AJ and his mom and his dad on to go to do the coaster, and I'm going to sit with the girls, and I'm going to get them ice cream because they're too small to do it. I'm going to get them ice cream, and we'll sit on the bridge and watch them come by. So these girls are maybe like 6 and 8, okay? 6 and 8. So we're eating ice cream. The mom and dad go, and the girls are blown away. They go, and they're like, ah! And I go, they're going twice. They're going to go twice. So the girls are like, oh, my God, I want to watch it again. So it comes by again, but it's an empty cart because clearly there's a cart in between them and them. There's an empty cart, and Phoebe goes, oh, my God, where are they? And I go, they must have fallen out.
Oh, no.
But that's what you'd say to, like, an adult.
Right.
But
I just 7 and 8-year-old.
I just told her that her parents were dead. That's what I told her.
They fell out. Let's finish your ice cream.
Like, my parents are dead. And I was like, oh, no, they didn't fall out. And then I was like, wait, our parents fell out. And I was like, that's a bad joke, ladies. I was like, no, they're on the next one.
That seems like something that would happen on an episode of Louie. The stuff he does with his kids is so funny.
I haven't seen Louie at all.
Oh, my God. Just recently, his daughter's like really talking about how much she enjoyed a movie she saw, and after a little while, he realizes she's describing Clockwork Orange. He's like, you saw Clockwork Orange? She's like, this guy's really bad, so they pry his eyes open.
You saw Clockwork Orange? God, he's so fucking smart. Oh.
Well, I'm sure he also, that something very similar probably happened with one of his daughters.
Oh, my God. Damn it.
As soon as your kid sees something is not for kids, it's like a bummer.
Georgia had watched their puberty. They watched a puberty video, and in 5th grade, and they made us the parent. They wanted the parents to watch it first, so before they showed it to the kids, and the sound wasn't synced up, so it was just 2 seconds off. So all the questions that these kids had to ask to adults in this movie ended up just being mistimed, so that it looked like the adults were asking the kids. So it looked like the uncle was saying to his nephew, what does it mean if my dick's smaller than everyone else's? My penis is smaller than everyone else's. And then the kid's like, in a very confident voice, don't worry, Eric. Boys have different sized penises. It was fucking hilarious. What are you doing? Oh, yeah. I can't. Okay, by the way, I want to tell you, we just talked about roller coasters for 1 hour.
No, I know. I thought I was kind of like starting to feel like maybe.
No.
That's the one thing about Periscope is like if you're periscoping and talking about roller coasters for too long, the comments would just start saying, stop talking about roller coasters.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But because we were able to do what we wanted to do, and people can take the ride with us, or not, But we did talk about roller coasters for a really long time, like with the kind of enthusiasm
that people would talk about comedy with,
right? But then also that you just like when you're at the amusement park, like standing in line, all you do is talk about how great that last ride was and what this next one's going to be like, and it's also like I guess if people that might be one of the main things that makes me feel like I'm staying relatively young is that I still love that shit, And a lot of times I'm just there by myself and I'm still having a ball, you know, because once I'm on those rides, it just feels so great. And it's so like,
it's a great feeling. And
especially the really good, smooth ones that they're, constantly making now that aren't all wooden knock the shit out of you.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of amusement parks after the day. Like, I'll go to the hotel and sit in the jacuzzi or something just to make sure. But, I'm not like super hella sore or anything the next day or throw my neck or back out,
Yeah,
I'm more likely to do that than just doing a regular everyday activity than sitting in one of those coasters. Because sometimes you're just strapped in and you're just, nothing's, there's nothing to tweak.
Have you ever done a rope swing, like a legit rope swing overseas? Oh, that's what you got to do. That is
why.
Those are the best. I'm trying to open one in the States. If anyone knows any stadiums that will want me to work with them, I'd love to do it. We did it in Moses Mabita Stadium in Durban, and it's like I want to say 500, 450 feet, and there's a line tied to the center of the stadium. It's outdoors, but it's an indoor stadium, kind of indoor outdoor.
Sure.
And then you climb up the spires. So there's spires going up over the stadium, and that's what the thing's hooked to in the center. You climb up the spires on a pair of stairs, climb up over that spire onto a catwalk, and walk out 450 feet on a catwalk. They harness you in a 5-point harness. You jump, and you free fall arguably 420 of the 450 feet, and at the last 20 seconds, inertia or whatever, the pendulum catches you, and you swing out. It's a lot like those rope swings that you see at Magic Mountain, the one that I was talking about, but it is on steroids. I did
right because you drop for so much farther.
You drop for fucking 4.5 seconds.
And then once you swing, do you have to? Is it like those that you have to kind of swing back and forth for a while until it's over, or how does it end?
No, I think I have one on my fucking TV to show you. You swing out and then you swing back and swing back and swing back. They had to put a harness on the one in South Africa because people would swing out, and if the wind was kicking, they'd swing up and hit their fucking face.
Oh.
Yeah, some woman hit her fucking face.
Oh, I can't wait to do this.
No, but they have a break on it. You do them a lot in like New Zealand, Switzerland. Interlocken's got the best one I've ever done. Interlaken has the best rope swing I've ever done. It's I forget what it's called, but it's in this really tiny canyon, and you jump off, and you free fall for literally 4.5 seconds, and the rope catches you 10 feet off the ground, and you swing literally 10 feet above rocks. Like, what? It is awesome. It is the best.
See, I would want to take it. I like having these crazy sensations, but as safely as possible. I don't need that part where like, oh, look at how close you're coming to the rocks.
Yeah.
I don't need that part. I'd rather drop 400 feet and still have another 100 feet to the ground.
That's like the one in New Zealand. The one in New Zealand, you're like 50 feet, 40, like 100 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And you don't feel like it's...
Yeah, I don't need to have that extra thing of like, oh, this is also seems dangerously close.
Yeah.
I just want to feel like the great feeling of plummeting. That's why the one time I did skydiving, I was attached to a guy, because I don't want to have to... I don't want to have to know when to pull the thing or what to do.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't want to know any of that shit.
Yeah, I've been skydiving.
I don't want to try to hit the ground myself. I want to have that guy, he hits first and then you hit. So that's the thing. All these places that have skydiving, people are so terrified of it and think it's so dangerous. And they all have perfectly clean records. Nobody ever gets hurt.
People get hurt.
Ankles.
No. Like the weekend.
How many deaths are there?
There's 48 a year.
At how many places and how many jumps?
Average 48 a year. Oh, there's probably the percentage of deaths is minuscule.
Right?
Because
driving your car around every day in a city is way more dangerous than any of this shit.
Oh, easily driving your car in the city is more dangerous than skydiving. And you always go with a guy.
Or bungee jumping or any of these things.
Oh, rope swing's probably the safest out of all of them. Bungee, then I'd probably go skydiving, then bungee.
Did you ever hear about somebody getting an eye injury bungee jumping?
No, I've never. Dude, actually, let me take that back. The percentage of fail in the majority of bungee companies is 0. Like,
right?
They never fail. No one's getting hurt at all bungee jumping.
Is that why bungee jumping isn't so big anymore? Because it's so safe?
I don't.
I never hear or see people talking about it. I loved it when I did it a bunch of times. I did an illegal one out in the mountains in the national forest outside of Reno.
Really?
Yeah.
How high?
Yeah, with some fucking lunatic that like I can't believe I did it. Like looking back on it, I'm like, why the fuck did you do that?
I've worked with those people before.
You know what I mean? Just seemed like he knew what he was doing. Yeah. Took a group of us out there, had an escape plan if what do you call them? Roll up on you, the rangers,
park services.
Yeah. If they roll up on you, you know, everybody's got a bug out plan. Even if you're the guy doing the bungee, you gotta bail on bungeeing or get right back up.
Yep.
You know,
we got shut down in Arizona
and go. Yeah. So, but at night, so it's all like moonlight and flashlights.
You went at night?
Yeah, middle of the night. Me and Greg Barrett did it. It's one of the craziest things ever.
Kidding me?
Off of a bridge where your face gets this close to fucking rocks and a stream.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So wait, where did you meet this
lunatic.
Guy? Where did you meet this guy?
It was my first bungee jump ever. And I did it under those circumstances.
That's fucking insane.
Some guy that worked at the club that we were playing in Reno. We were playing Catch a Rising Star in whatever the hotel was called at the time. I don't know if it was a Harrah's or a Hilton or whatever, because they switch them around sometimes. But it was in Reno, and a guy that works there was like, "Hey, do you guys want to go on an illegal bungee jump? It's like $100 or whatever." And we were like, "Okay." And you know, even the drive out there was scary. You know, winding road. We don't know this guy that's driving us out there.
Yeah.
And
sober? Are you sober?
No, we probably got drunk first.
Yeah.
You know, we were because it was after a night of shows in Reno.
Oh, so, yeah. Okay, so you're done work and you're like,
we're drunk and high, going out into the middle of the fucking national forest to go out onto a bridge, and these guys set it all up, and then you illegal bungee jump, and the guy even has to make it even scarier by. You know, I did the version where you just fall off backwards.
Yeah, the dead man's drop.
Yeah. That's scarier, right, than just jumping off? Or which is, they're pretty equally scary.
I think that one's scarier than just jumping off.
But I think, I think the harness on your ankles is scarier to me than the other kind.
Than the waist harness?
Yeah.
The harness on your ankles is definitely a more intense experience.
Yeah.
I like the waist harness because to get you back up or to lower you, whatever they're going to do, it's more comfortable.
So this is ankles and backwards drop.
Ankles backwards drop?
Over a fucking river.
How high?
A flowing river that you could see the rocks.
How high?
Probably 200 feet or something.
Holy shit.
So the guy gets you out on, like, there's a kind of a thing you could stand on, and he gets me, and he's got my hands in both of his hands, and he goes, okay, now lean back, and he goes, on 3. 1.
And just let
that old fucking gag of letting you go on 1.
Yeah.
Which, as you're falling, you're pissed. Yeah. You know, like, you asshole. Fuck you. But I guess also it might just be something he got used to doing because of the chicken out factor. You know, if you're really counting to 3, the person can go, wait, no, you know.
Oh, I've had people on the ledge going, no, I can't do it.
Right.
One girl crying.
You got to fucking do it.
At AJ Hackett's place in Australia, and she was sobbing, crying. I go, listen, and this is the truth. This will all be over the second you do it.
This will not murder you.
It's not.
This will not murder you.
Die.
It will not injure you. You will. It's scary, but it's fun. Scary. Trust me. Like people that say they don't like roller coasters at all, it just baffles me that they can't just be open to the idea. But
Jim Norton
it's a combination of things. Some people are scared of heights, just the idea of heights, not necessarily how dangerous they are, but just being up high. I guess that's still that's dangerous or vulnerable. But also, it's just this idea that there's going to be an accident.
Yeah,
drives me crazy because in our daily lives we do so much shit that's so much more dangerous.
Yeah, it's the best way to assess controlled danger.
Yeah,
like it's
so much better to me than like a scary movie.
I can't watch. I haven't seen a scary movie in a long time. I can't watch a scary movie.
I think I can't watch them because they're boring.
Oh yeah,
I'm bored by them. Oh, they're looking around for something. Eventually, it's going to jump out at them. Oh, it's an axe murderer. Oh, she's got an axe in her head. You know, like it's like there's only so much of that I can see in my life. I've seen 1,000 horror movies.
Yeah,
and it's just so repetitive. And you know, and then when something comes along where people say, "Oh, this has really got a new angle on it," it's just not. It's not new enough for me. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You put a little bit of a spin on it, but it's still waiting for a shock. And then relaxing, and then waiting for another shock, and then relaxing again, but none of them shock me anymore. A cat jumping out does not shock me because I'm waiting for the fucking cat to jump out.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if it's easier to write a horror movie or a comedy.
It's easier to, I mean, horror movies you can get away with not trying in some ways, you know?
Yeah.
Or, you know, I do like the I do like the mayhem in horror movies. You know, when there's violence, I enjoy that. I'm not against that. I just think that like a great example now is it just came out and I'll never see it is Human Centipede Part 3. And it's Section 3 or whatever weird name he gave it. It's you know, the first movie was 3 people and the second movie was 10 people. Now this one's 30 people or something like that. And they're sewed together. This mad scientist sews them together. Ass to mouth. Yeah. And then they have exploits. I don't know what happens once those people are like that. Yeah. It's like when in Tusk, the Kevin Smith movie, once Justin Long turns into a walrus, for the rest of the movie, he's just a walrus just screaming about being a walrus. And you're just like, yeah, you're stuck being a walrus. So that's how Human Centipede seems to me. Like, oh, this is horrible. What's happening to these people? And what? They can't run and jump in the car and start it up and escape. Yeah. They're all sewed together. It's 30 people. So, I'll never see that because that just sounds disgusting. Yeah.
I don't like movies where they break my heart at the taking of someone's like humanness.
That's interesting. I don't necessarily dislike a movie for that, but it does make me very sad. Like I lose it hard over like anytime little kids are in jeopardy in a movie. Yeah. I don't like that.
Like it used to freak me out. I don't know what movie this is, but I saw a movie as a kid about the circus would come in town and a clown would come and account. Like remember It? Mm-hmm. Stephen King's It. I didn't like it because he was stealing little kids, and then I was like, now he doesn't have a brother, and that would break my heart. And I'd be like, fuck, you can't do that, man. You can't take someone's little brother. That's not cool. Like that would freak me the fuck out.
Well, that's what I don't like about SeaWorld is that they separate the families, and now they got commercials saying they're not separating the families. And somebody sent me, I've been like campaigning against SeaWorld, and somebody sent me a tweet today that in fucking Orlando they're going to build an amazing roller coaster at SeaWorld. And I even tweeted just mere weeks ago. Somebody can back me up on this. It's probably still I might have favorited it myself because sometimes I favorite my own tweets because I want to remember the joke or the sentiment later.
Fucking smart.
So but people are like, you favorite your own tweets like I'm that egotistical. Like this is a favorite.
It's not that it's so good that I posted it. It's even better.
Yeah. So this one I wish I'd favorited it. If I didn't, I got to go find it or something. I said stop with the animal shows. Have really cool aquariums. I didn't say all of this. It's too much for one tweet. But my sentiment was put in more rides and just make it an aquatic themed theme park.
Yeah, they could do that.
And they could do the shit out of that, and they could be competitive or more so with all the other parks because society is just going to get tired of. There's plenty of footage of Shamu jumping up into the air. Yeah. And kissing somebody or whatever the fuck they made it do. Like, I grew up on it. I went to SeaWorld yearly as a kid. I grew up in San Diego. SeaWorld was my favorite thing after Disneyland, and it was closer. I love SeaWorld. Yeah. So you watch Blackfish, and it's so fucked up.
Oh, it's so fucked up. I mean, you look at them.
People give me a hard time like now also like, well, you eat meat and they're doing horrible things to all those animals to get to your plate.
Oh, I didn't understand what veal was until I went to a working farm.
Oh, I don't eat veal anyway.
I just had always assumed. What were you going to show me?
Huh?
What were you going to show me?
I don't know. Because I got to wrap it up soon, right?
Yeah.
How long do you usually do this show for?
I don't know. I did
Am I making you do a short one?
No, this is perfect.
And then I could show it to the camera because I'm so proud of it. The artist is a lady named Leah Tishon, and this is not a photograph. This is drawn.
What is it?
And it's my new album's called Promotional Tool, and the cover is a parody, not a parody, a copy of Taylor Swift's album with me instead of Taylor Swift.
Oh,
so when people are fucking around on iTunes, they might click on it because they might think it's Taylor Swift's massive selling album. I wonder if I could get sued for doing something for being so tricky.
Tom Segura named his album Thrilled, and he was in the thriller position. I thought it was a great. I feel like I want to say that I came up with it, but I know I didn't. But like, but I was definitely there when he was sitting at dinner talking about it.
I guess it qualifies as parody.
Oh, of course it does.
You just get away with it.
Yeah. I wanted to call mine next. I don't know what I'm going to call my next. I think I'm doing a Call in Sick to Work show for my next hour special. I'm going to do it at 11 a.m. in D.C.
That's awesome.
Well, I took it from you.
Tell me when.
I took it from you 100%. Is I go into the clubs.
Well, I'd never do a show at 11 a.m.
No, but the fact that you I mean, I did it. I've done so many of those with you, like your 420 shows, that you see how happy the fucking club is, and you see how packed out, and you're in competition with nobody. That I started doing this.
The DC show, the DC Improv, my Doug Loves Movies at 420 on that Saturday, the weekend you're going to be there, has been sold out for weeks. Really? And it's still weeks away. It's still a few weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks away.
And by the way, it's not like that's. And I'm not.
When is it? Let's just plug your date, because that's the fun part. Is my show sold out? So now it's just come see Bert and hang out with us.
I think my shows are sold out too.
There you go. Nobody gets hurt.
June 11th, 12th, and 13th. I think
that sounds about
June 13th
right.
is your date.
Yes, that's going to be awesome. I got 2 other Doug Loves Movies regulars that I'll keep a secret as a surprise. And
but that's what I do. I decided to literally take a page directly out of your book, and I was drinking doing radio anyway. Like I'd go in, they'd always have booze, and they'd come on, Bert. So I'd always take shots or drink a cocktail, and then I just figured, fuck it, let's just go straight to the club from here and do a show right now. And the first one I did was in D.C. with Elliot in the morning. I go in, I drink on radio with him, and then me and him drove directly to the club, and it sold out in 20 minutes. And so I was like, that's my new fucking thing. So I did Tampa, Edmonton. I'm gonna do Phoenix. I'm gonna do a ball again.
Dude, you gotta give me the dates, and I will happily come participate in some way.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be a blast.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
I did one in Pittsburgh, sold out. It's a fun fucking gig. But
I love this shit. Like this last Mother's Day. You know how comedy is on Mother's Day, like comedy clubs. They're empty, or they just a lot of them don't even bother. A lot of clubs are closed on Sundays anyway. And people don't bring their moms to the comedy show at 8:00. Like Mother's Day really does kind of happen in the day. And then that night, everybody just sits around and watches 60 Minutes or whatever the fuck mom wants to watch, right? So, like, stand-up comedy, I've never had a good time on Mother's Day. And then 2 years ago, I got the brainstorm, I'll just do a 420 show in Denver.
Yeah.
Because they're so into weed there that, like, the ones with or without their moms, they're going to come. And some brought their moms. And it sold out. Like, it went from, I can't get people to come out at all on Mother's Day to, like, now that I've got this very specific audience.
Yeah.
And just people that like me in general. I mean, I know I'd go to a show on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'd go see my favorite band on Mother's Day or whatever.
Yeah,
see you later, Mom.
Yeah.
Or, a lot of people don't have a mom,
Yeah.
for various reasons. So, or your mom's not in the same town.
Yeah.
Like all these kids in Denver, their moms don't live there. They just come to the show,
That's fucking genius.
So, and then and Father's Day, it's like now I'll just do a show on Father's Day because it's like, who cares? Like, there's plenty of families that can go about their family. Like if I don't get the family audience at all,
Yeah.
there's still what's this country right now? The family audience is 200 million, and the rest is 100 million people.
Yeah.
That's enough people for me to work with as a base to entertain potentially.
I was blown away doing your 420 show, your 419 show. What I was impressed with.
Oh, the night before 420, we do a countdown like it's New Year's Eve.
Seen anything like that in my entire life. I'm really being serious. I was blown away. And what even was more impressive, and me and Fultron kept looking at it, is how many people wanted to get a picture with you holding their pipe and taking a hit off their pipe.
Yeah, that's
That is, I mean,
I hear bucket list all the time, and I go, please get more important things that you want to do before you die.
You must have taken 100 hits.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that's another thing that happens all the time is people are like they love to say I could smoke you under the table or I could smoke more than you.
Yeah,
and it's just like, well, what does smoke more even mean? I just smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke.
Yeah,
I could smoke all day and night. What are you talking about? At what point, like? one time in Toronto, I was at that Comedy Underground.
Comedy Underground.
And
I've heard that story.
And I fucking greened out there, and like that's like that's the only example of me
I've
ever.
heard that story every time.
And
I
nobody
go there.
outsmoked me. I just fucking caved on my own. Just from a room full of people outsmoking me. Like it was too hard to do stand up comedy while people are blowing smoke in your face.
Oh, I've done that club a number of times, and every time I think I talk to you, and you're like, "Bring a list. You're gonna forget what you're talking about." I was like,
That's
nah.
my strategy of every one of my shows.
Do you like dabs?
I love them, but that's where it's truly like people that do dabs and me. That's where what's the expression? The river meets the road, because I don't even know if that's an expression.
Something hits the pavement.
Yeah. When that happens, it's in dabs. Like dabs will knock me out. Like I think my record in one, like let's say day or 5-hour period is maybe 5 dabs.
Really?
And that was, I was pretty out of it when I was done. It only takes one dab. One dab will do you. It'll get you right there.
I would never. I would never do a dab.
And it's probably smart. Or come on my show and do one. When do your kids turn 18? Let's write that down somewhere.
Yeah.
When can you officially? But I guess also, who knows? It's all seems to be moving in the right direction in terms of like acceptance. But it's fun. It's funny that some of my best friends in comedy and in life in general will not come on my show and just sit there and smoke weed with me. Even though we do that in our lives, you know.
The show's interesting because I told you I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite show. I told you I want to do Getting Bert with Drunk.
That's right. I'll do that. I'd appear on that because I could drink for 45 minutes without, getting so crazy blasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that show would have to be longer because we get pretty high in 45 minutes.
Fucking. I saw the girl from.
Ipanema?
No, the girl from Broad City got really fucking high. The one that was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
She got really high, and she's like a daily smoker, and I could see it in her eyes. I was like, she is fucking baked. But I love when you get like Jack Black on.
Yeah, well, he was, he wants to come back on, like, and now he's training for it.
God damn it.
He's smoking a little bit just to get better at, to build it up again, because he had just lost his tolerance through, having a family and a career and lots of, he's my friend Brian Posehn, he quit for a while. Like when his kid was born or whatever, it's like, I don't begrudge people on that score at all. It's like the same thing as alcohol or anything. Like, I don't know why anybody gives a shit what other people are doing. Like if, it can kind of be a party bummer. Like if you and I are hanging out and you're like, I don't want to smoke tonight. Or if I said to you, I don't want to drink, but you always kind of want to be. There's always this thing where people want to be on the same plane. They want to be the same fucked up if they can be.
Yeah.
But so many of my friends don't drink or smoke at all, and don't mind what I'm doing. And we all get along, and it's fine.
Leanne doesn't drink at all, and I think every time we go to dinner, I have a glass of wine.
I don't think I've gotten in a drunken argument with a friend in like over a decade, because we're all just doing what we want to do and doing what we can handle. Like even when I'm blackout drunk, people tell me I'm not a problem.
Yeah.
I try not to get blackout drunk, but some days I wake up and I'm like, wow, there was 2 hours there. I could have gone on a murder spree.
But last night I got pretty drunk. I was with Stanhope's manager, and we were doing shots. And I was like, I just
don't do shots. That's how I keep it under control. Is I just say no to shots.
Your
always.
version of everyone wanting to take a bong hit with you is everyone gives me a shot. Everyone wants to do a shot with me.
Well, imagine being Dave Attell right now.
I think he had to quit drinking because he couldn't.
But you know what I mean? Like he if he's in a bar, they're going to offer him drinks. Like they did. Not everybody got the memo that he doesn't drink.
I'd love to know why
he must be hounded by it.
I'd love to know why he quit.
And he's such a sweet guy. Like he seems to be getting nicer as time goes on. Strangely enough.
Well, they want me to do voiceover. You got to get.
I got to get going.
Yeah, well, I'll do voiceover.
I got to go. I'm going to go pick up the first box of my new CD that are going to be available. Physical copies you can get from a special thing, records.com, but you can get the digital download, which is the world's preference, on iTunes on June 9th.
On June 9th.
So a week from Tuesday, is that June 9th? Yeah.
June 9th is right before, so you'll have them at your 420 show. in DC?
Oh, well, I say I'm going to get some. Yeah, I'll have one. There'll probably be one in the prize bag.
Oh, there won't be.
But I don't
you don't sell
sell.
them
I
on
don't
the road?
sell shit at shows.
Really?
No. I'd rather go outside and smoke with everybody.
Hey, wait, I got to ask you before you leave.
That's a tricky one, though. DC, like, there's no, the street lets out into, like, it's.
Oh, no, you can. Oh, to smoke.
Yeah, it lets out into a really busy Washington, D.C. street. But D.C. is super down with weed. I mean, they really passed it hard.
Really?
The recreational. Yeah, recreational's legal there now.
So do you have to get a license?
No, you don't have to do shit.
In D.C.?
Yeah. I don't think they sell it, but it's not illegal to have it.
Okay.
I don't think there's dispensaries or anything.
What Hey, what's before you leave? I have to ask you. Why did you decide to do a CD and not an album, or not a DVD, like a video? Oh,
because I just did a video. I did I've been doing an album a year for. This is the 8th album in 8 years.
Yeah.
And just to sort of like these guys that do, like Louis and Aziz, that do a special once a year, but they make it a TV special.
Yeah.
I've just been doing albums because I really got enamored with George Carlin's output. Yeah. And with the idea of having a lot of stuff out there, because I'd never done an album as of 8 years ago, after already having been a comic for quite long enough that I should have done an album. So the first 2 albums are really good because they are just out of the gate all the greatest material from my first 10, 15 years of stand-up.
Yeah.
Then every album since then has been a panicked rush to get together enough material for an album each year. So this is going to be the last one for a little while.
Really?
Because also I just did my first Netflix special, and that seems to have opened the doors for if I can do more of those if I want. And so I'm thinking about maybe dovetailing the TV specials and the albums into one thing instead of doing both.
So where did you shoot that, in Denver?
Where you make one and it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't want to do one for a while because I'm really exploring the idea of being more going on stage with nothing and just trying to do 45 minutes, like not Todd Barry's crowd work tour,
yeah,
or Big J Okerson's crowd work show. This is more like there will be crowd work because there has to be. But they're more it's just about me just like deciding what I want to talk about, sort of based on what the crowd wants me to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that, like, what they want is what they should get.
Yeah.
And some people at this point probably don't enjoy, like, my written stand-up material because they associate me with all these other things where I'm ad-libbing all the time.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Like my stand-up, some people might be like, he doesn't talk about movies enough in his stand-up. Some people might watch my movie podcast and go, he doesn't talk about being high enough,
That's
so it's like you do all these things, and hopefully people find the ones that work for them.
Where did you shoot your Netflix special?
At the Neptune Theater in Seattle.
Oh, really?
Near UW. Beautiful theater, and they have these glass windows, stained glass windows that are all Neptune themed. They're all nautical. And throughout the theater, they've got, like, it's just got the whole place. They've just really done it over nicely. It's an old theater called the Neptune, and they just did a whole nautical theme, and it's really pretty and cool. And when people tape their comedy specials there, they cover up the stained glass windows and put a set up.
Yeah.
So we put a set in the back because my special was called Doug Dynasty. So we put a bunch of ducks flying across some clouds behind me.
Yeah.
But then, and that's also why there's ducks on my shirt.
I was wondering
on the Taylor Swift
mallard
thing.
ducks on your
shirt. She's got some sort of bird on her shirt, and mine are the ducks similar to the ducks from Doug Dynasty.
Yeah.
And then we left the stained glass windows, and then it became like a running thing through the show. Jokes about the stained glass windows, but I just thought the place looked really cool, so why go in there and cover them up? You know, I wanted to do it in that. The company that did the special came to me and said, what do you think of the Neptune? That was like I think that was their second suggestion, and I said yes. I think they asked me where I wanted to go, and I picked some theater that for one reason or another was too expensive. I forget which theater I picked. What's your favorite theater to play? I got to get going.
Yeah, I don't do theaters enough. I don't do theaters at all, barely.
What's your? But if you Like here in L.A., the one that I sort of want to conquer is I'd like to do something at the Wiltern.
I'd love to do yeah, I'd totally do something at the Wiltern. I'd love the Wiltern. I think the Wiltern's fucking badass.
On the other hand, I would never want to be on stage at the Hollywood Bowl.
I'd love to be on stage at the Hollywood Bowl.
It's just so vast. I did Carnegie Hall, and it was too big.
How about what's the one in
I
Los
just dropped
Feliz?
Carnegie Hall, and you're asking me about Los Feliz? The Greek.
I like the Greek.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what else? I never asked for something to drink. Or
Do
you offered maybe, and I just didn't say anything.
Do you need something to drink?
Well, it's just weird that I'm so cottonmouthed right now because I've just been. It's odd to do a podcast and talk for this long and not take one sip of anything. Just been hitting the pipe and looking at these Reese's Pieces.
Oh, they're fucking good.
I was thinking of that as a category on Doug Love's movies. Reese's Pieces is like movies where you see Reese Witherspoon's tits or something like that.
You could do a category of
or naughty bits.
You have the greatest names of albums ever.
Well, thanks.
I'd like you to name my albums if you could. I was thinking about doing one liver with like all the fucking lights, like in that bar thing, just lights, and it says liver. Bert Kreischer, liver. But it's going to look like liver.
You should go on tour with the Oneaters.
All right, I'll let you go.
Okay, bye, guys. Thank you.
So that was the podcast, everybody, and it was brought to you by Audible.com. I want to thank Audible.com, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Get this book. You get a free one. It's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing by Marie Kondo, Kondo. It is yours. If you want to listen to it, Audible's got it. They've got 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products, and you are going to find what you are looking for, so get it. Get a free audiobook and a 30-day trial period today by signing up at www.audiblepodcast.com/Bertcast. Declutter your life. Streamline it. I'm trying to get rid of clothes right now. My daughters are in the backyard. They're driving me fucking nuts. The show's over. New podcast every Tuesday. This episode was brought to you by The Machine.